Good morning, Coolest Coast. It is time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge with Vagabond Creative Studio. Good morning. So happy to see you.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am good. Are you guys dry? Was there a huge storm by you last night?
We are dry. There was I think there was like a huge storm all over Wisconsin last night.
Okay. It felt like it. It was huge.
The great news is that we did not have any tornadoes last night. I have not checked the weather to see where things are at across the state, but I haven't heard any buzz that there were tornadoes other places.
Oh, thank goodness.
So yes, that's a win for today. And sorry, I have all these windows open. It's distracting. I need to close them up.
All right. While you're closing them, I have another win. A great local photographer shared a photo with us. Check out this photo. I don't know if I have ever seen rainbow and lightning at the same time. So this was shared by Visual Storyteller, and this photo blew me away.
Wow.
And if she weren't somewhat local, I would kind of almost think is this photoshopped? But isn't that incredible?
So you know the person that took this shot?
Loosely.
Okay.
Loosely, yes.
Acquaintances.
Yes.
This is an incredible picture.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
How long that string of lightning is.
What I wanted to find out was she outside or inside when she snapped the shot?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, the timing, just the chance of a lifetime.
Can I just say that I love that she taked Coolest Coast? How incredible is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where is Visual Storyteller, in northeastern Wisconsin?
I think it's right here on the Coolest Coast.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is cool. That is really cool.
And then, so you shared a picture of a rainbow, a full rainbow. Now, this is from a storm like a day or two prior, right?
So I cannot take credit for this. Kayla Bakeman sent this to me. Oh. Kayla is a dear friend of mine, lives right down the road. This was their view from their house. So they basically are probably a half mile in from Lake Michigan. And she snapped this shot and isn't it amazing?
Yeah, I love this. Look at that. Look at, you can see the double, you can see the start of a double rainbow in this one.
Yeah, that one's a double. So I love this because we literally talked about rainbows last week and then there were more. So I just feel like that means the summer's going to be incredible. Right? If I'm just channeling my Irish spirit, rainbows are always good luck, right?
Right. Right. And to see them when it's a full rainbow like that, or the rainbow with lightning when it's extra special. Yeah, I do think that bodes well for a good summer here on the Coolest Coast.
Right. So we've been talking about your trees coming down, your ash trees coming down. Were you able to lay in bed with a little peace of mind last night when the winds were whipping, knowing that you had taken those trees down?
You read my mind. You read my mind. I was exactly having those thoughts. I thought, well, the timing of this is pretty good.
Yeah, there was some crazy winds last night. We laid in bed with our window cracked open this much so that if the tornado sirens went off, that we would hear it right away. And but it was just, one of the things we noticed was that there wasn't a lot of intense thunder. At least here it wasn't.
Right.
There was lightning and there was that kind of low rumble, but there wasn't those cracking, thunder. Sometimes with that much lightning, you just have this constant rumbling thunder. And we really didn't have that last night.
Yeah, you're right. It was mostly lightning that I noticed.
Right. Lightning and the thunder. Lightning and thunder.
Imagine Dragons?
Yes.
I love Imagine Dragons.
There's another song about thunder. Thunder only happens when it's raining.
Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah, I don't know. I can break into song, but I don't know who the artists are or what the title of the song is.
Well, somebody help me out. I think that's Fleetwood Mac or perhaps Stevie Nicks solo.
You are so good. See, I sang You have the knowledge. I should say, you have the knowledge.
Okay, here's something. We were talking about the trees, right? Remember I shared that little video of the baby squirrel scampering up the lumberjack? Well, this weekend, as the tree was down, there was another baby squirrel, but he was getting chased through all of the other trees by two blue jays. And at first I thought, that's just an anomaly. They just happened to be going the same way. But no, they would like chase him. Then one would stop behind him and the other would fly in front. Then they'd chase him down and like corner him on the ground. I literally watched two blue jays bullying a baby squirrel, and it completely surprised me. I had no idea that that was, something that happened in nature.
I mean, it makes me want to ask, are blue jays carnivores?
I know.
I do know that they are not nice. They are, oh, hold on. The dogs might bark. I just had a landscaper pull up.
So they have a reputation for being not nice?
Yeah, blue jays are like loud and squawky and like they're a bigger, stronger bird. So I think like on bird feeders, they will dominate on the bird feeders.
Oh, Nicole said blue jays are jerks. I mean, if you're going to judge a bird on its song, I would definitely say, yeah, that makes sense because they have a really kind of screechy, just squawk.
Yeah, they're nasty. But how dare they pick on that little
I
squirrel?
I know. And I didn't know how to get involved. It was like above where I was capable of helping them, but
I imagine Tina, you going out with some pots and pans and being like Moana in the movie where she's trying to get the crab's attention and she's like, you're just like trying to get them to scatter away.
Do you think it would have worked?
I don't know, but can you please try next time?
Next time I will. Next time I will. Yeah. Any thoughts out there, folks? Like, what do you do if I didn't know that blue jays would torment other critters in the yard.
Yeah. I mean, there's also part of me that wants to say, like, yes, I can understand the motherly instinct to protect the squirrel. And then conversely, I want to be like, it's a circle of life.
Lion King?
Yeah. Right? Like,
yeah, that's true. Right.
Like they're just doing their thing.
They were doing their thing, and I really had no business. So while she's doing that, I just want to replay the video of the squirrel scampering up the lumberjacks.
This is kind of weird. These two guys are my friends now. Hi. Hi, how are you? What are you doing? What are you doing, little guy? What are you doing? All right. That's good. Oh, all right.
So cute.
I imagine the squirrel being like, are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother?
Yeah. And so obviously, the squirrel was climbing up a guy. So maybe he's not the brightest. So maybe he kind of mucked around with the blue jays where he shouldn't have. I mean, maybe he didn't make the best choice. I don't know.
I mean, I would think that the other thing is the blue jay's food source the same as the squirrel's food source?
Yeah.
Because then they could be like, sorry, my dogs are barking because there's people working outside today.
'Tis the season though. Isn't that great? Hey, do squirrels eat bird eggs in some way? Like, do you think he would have futzed with their nest?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't feel like I thought squirrels were herbivores.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
in cartoons and movies, you always see them eating nuts, but
yeah, I mean, definitely squirrels are in bird feeders. So anything that would be seedy, nutty, that kind of stuff totally would be the same. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, speaking of trees too, you sent a picture of this pretty little sprout that you've got going. Did the storm knock the blossoms off?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even look yet this morning. I should go look. We have one larger version of this that's very mature that is just absolutely stunning right now. But this little tree we got after my dad passed last year. So all of my mom's siblings went together and bought this tree as a gift to my mom, and she decided to plant it out here. And so isn't it like perfectly colored, just
Yeah,
like so sweet.
it's so
I
beautiful.
walked out there the other night and like snapped a picture, and then I would not say this frequently or typically, but I was like, this is like a really good shot. The
With the
sun,
sunset and everything, yeah.
the grass was so green. It just looked so beautiful. But I just thought, like, sometimes when you plant new trees, you don't always get that like first blossom or they don't look great. And I'm like, oh, it is so healthy and vibrant.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Is it a crabapple?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I've got a crabapple too, and the storm knocked every last bloom off last night.
Oh.
But it was beautiful and full this year. But can you tell me, or does any viewer know, before the crabapple started blooming, which was like this past week, early May, there were other trees that were a similar color that were like in full bloom all around. Was that just a crabapple blooming at a different time, or is that a different type of tree?
Mm.
Because I really loved it, and I thought, wow, that'd be great to have one that bloomed
Yeah. They
early.
were also pink.
Mhm.
You know who would know that answer is Jeff at Silver Creek Nursery. I'll see if I can
Oh.
match. I did see some other trees in like a more white variety that had blossomed, maybe like 2 weeks ago, kind of the same thing. And I do think they are different crabapple varieties, um,
Oh,
based on what he shared, because some of them are white and some of them are. Because you had pictures of, are those cherry blossoms? Didn't you have pictures of downtown Manitowoc, the white trees from a couple weeks ago?
so I had cherry blossoms from downtown, but yeah, there are white trees, and so you think those might be crab apples too?
Well, I wonder if they're a variety of cherry blossom, if those were
Oh,
blooming like 2 weeks ago.
right.
But I'll try to message Jeff, or I'll take Silver Creek Nursery in the comments today and see if he knows the answer. I know he'll know the answer.
Okay, that would be so interesting to know because they're just so beautiful, and it would be lovely to kind of plant the yard knowing that, okay, there's gonna be a tree that blooms early May, then mid-May, then the lilacs come online, which the lilacs are my favorite.
I was going to say, when I went out to take that picture, I looked at our lilacs and they had buds all over them, but nothing was really like open yet. But I saw another house where farther west that there were some purple ones ready to open. So yeah, probably by this weekend, I think, especially if it's warmer.
Nice. It does feel, this is my educated opinion, right? Like I'm not a botanist or anything, but it feels like a lot of the trees have full blooms this year, like just
Yes.
more blooms than previous years. Like when I looked at the lilac, the amount of blooms that it's about to give is maybe triple what I saw last year on that tree.
Right. And I don't remember exactly. I do feel like we've had a strong spring, meaning there's been lots of rain and we've had some pretty decent warmer weather. If you think just about the last 2 weekends, we've had really nice sunshine and some great days. And maybe it'll mean we have a wonderful harvest season all over.
Yeah, I love it. Right. Beautiful. Hey, I found this post and it made me giggle because we say thingamajig or whatchamacallit when we don't know, we can't quickly come up with the word that we're trying to think of. And it's funny to think that that type of word exists across a lot of languages. And even though I don't speak many of these languages, well, I speak only Japanese, so I speak none of those languages except Japanese. Um, you can like figure out how to say them and they sound so cute, don't they? Like Turkish is zamazingo.
Yeah, I kind of want to say zamazingo regularly.
Chingadera in
There.
Spanish,
Hmm.
Habi Jabi in Bengali,
Yeah, hobby jobby, I feel like could definitely be something that would come out of my mouth at some point.
and then in Danish it's diddly doot,
Silly dude, that's a good one.
she
Is
smooth.
yeah,
Oh, how do you say the Pashto one? Hagawagha? Hagawaga?
Hagawaga. I love that all of these have repeating sounds.
Right.
Did you notice that? Or a lot of them do.
And Zulu Intazinga,
It's a zinga.
Japanese Nani Nani, German Dingsbums, and then Dutch Huppeldepup.
Believe up. I want to be like, oh man, where's that Dingsbums? Dingsbums.
What kind of Huppeldepup is going on here?
The other thing is, this goes way back, but didn't Ace Ventura, wasn't he speaking Zulu when he was with the tribes and whatever? I might totally be doing this wrong, but
I don't know that movie well enough to comment at all. I don't know. Tell me more.
I can't. I literally can't. I feel like Zulu is one of the languages. Although we just watched Ace Ventura with the kids, not always appropriate. Really, really funny.
It's funny some movies don't age well.
Really? You don't think so?
Right. Well, like Risky Business was a huge movie in the 80s, like in my era, right? And everybody remembers Tom Cruise like sliding across the floor in his undies and a dress shirt and these black sunglasses. So they were screening it in Manitowoc a couple of years ago. We're like, cool, let's take our son to see this 80s movie. Do you know what the plot of that movie is? Do you remember this movie?
I don't know
Really,
if I've ever watched it.
you probably, I would kind of skip it. It's not that great. And literally the plot is this dude's parents are going out of town, so he ends up turning his home into like a brothel for the weekend.
Oh, great.
Yeah, in a nutshell. So like we're watching this movie, we're like, oh my God, these are like all the wrong messages for our kid. And then like, there's like gratuitous boobs and stuff. So I'm like, do I cover his eyes? Like, I brought him to see this movie. What's he gonna think?
I love it. I love it. So was it busy when you went to see it?
Um, relatively.
Yeah. But you thought it was a good movie when you watched it the first time?
As a teenager, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe because it was risky business then.
I think that even at that time, I probably didn't quite understand what the business at hand was.
Right. What is the business? That's hilarious.
Hey, speaking of business, you've got some exciting stuff coming up. Let me put this up. And what can you tell us about the exciting things that are happening at Lighthouse Recovery Community Center?
Oh my gosh. So a couple of weeks ago, so I've been overseeing a construction project there, and I may have mentioned this before, and it wrapped up pretty much in April. And we had ribbon cutting last week on Thursday night, and we had like well over 100 people come for ribbon cutting on Thursday evening and just celebrate the opening of that building. And it was just really, really incredible. And so one of the things that we're doing as part of opening that facility is we are doing a fundraiser. So I'm just going to speak on behalf of all nonprofits in this community. Anytime you have buildings, it just really takes a lot to maintain and keep them up. And a lot of time, if organizations have, for example, grant funding, they don't really cover maintaining those buildings. That's really for the services you provide or the programming you provide. And so one of the things we did is I just had this like wild, crazy idea to see if we could do a tile mosaic. And I went over to our friends at Etched in Stone, which is right here in Manitowoc. And I just said, like, I don't even know if this is a thing, but this is what I've seen. And it was to like basically create a large tile piece where the community can purchase a tile and be part of the fundraiser. And so that is what's in the picture on the bottom. So there's 550 2x2 tiles that make up this tile mosaic. When it's finished, it will actually be 5 feet wide by 3 feet tall. So it's going to be incredible. And the amazing artist, so Lynn Linder is in the middle. She does work with Etched in Stone. She's a tile artist out of Milwaukee. She designed the images you see. She designs every tile by hand. She hand creates them. She hand glazes them. She hand cuts them, fires them herself.
What?
And the most incredible thing is she has a daughter in recovery. And so when they reached out to her about this project, she was like, I am doing it. I'm donating it. I can't wait to do this. And this is so cool. I want to buy tiles myself. And so she's donating all the materials in her time for this project. And Etched in Stone has come alongside of her and said, we will install it and make sure that it is hung on the wall safely and can be part of Lighthouse in this community for a very long time to come. So,
oh my God, that story is the good feels all around.
Right. And so you can see these tiles, some of the tiles that are going to be on the top kind of look like this Starry Night piece. She's got all these like dimensional things in these tiles. And on the one on the bottom, the Lighthouse logo doesn't have anything underneath it normally, but she's like, the Lighthouse needs to be on a firm foundation. So she created this tile that's kind of in the bottom left that looks like layers of soil and like firmness, and, you can see the coloration, and just, it's really, really exciting how the pieces have come together. So the tiles are available for $100, and you can do them in memory of somebody, in honor of someone. You can do them as a business, a family, an individual, like however you want to do it, you can do this. All of those names are going to be recognized on a huge wall next to this. So we are so excited about families being able to kind of, in history, memorialize, their name or a family member's name that's important to them. But it's just really cool. And the sales are kind of already rolling in. So there's only 550 tiles available. So if this is meaningful for you, if you'd love to support Lighthouse, like, please consider donating. I will drop, the link is there, but I'm going to drop that in comments as well, just to make it easy for people. But
yeah, God, what a beautiful way to honor somebody that you're proud of, right? That has gone to recovery, gone through recovery, that has taken back their life.
yes. And I mean, Doug and I even just purchased one in our family name because we want to support this, and we want to be part of the recovery movement in Manitowoc. And again, just having so many people show up on third, it was like a celebration. You go to ribbon cutting sometimes and people are kind of milling around and stuff, but like, it was loud. People were having a wonderful time. And so it's just like, this is just the next phase of being able to be part of the history there. And so we want to invite the community to come in and do it with us.
Cool. Okay, so looking at the picture, I can see all the grid work. Does every square represent where there's going to be a tile?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. And you will get a number. So when you purchase one, you get a personalized postcard in the mail that says, like, you've purchased number 30. And then when it's done, there will be a grid, and then you'll be able to find your tile number 30 on that map and line it up on the actual art piece.
beautiful. And sales are happening right already?
Yep. It's been live. They are already selling, and it's happening. And I just so appreciate you being willing to talk about it, because we are so excited about having this installed, and just, again, the momentum, the way the literal pieces fit together.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you just don't, like, I talked to Anna Etched in Stone probably back in February and said, is this a thing? And it is a thing. It's happening. And so it's really exciting.
So many beautiful things are demonstrated in this example, right? That sort of community support and collaboration, the celebration, the hard work that's being done in recovery, but then being able to celebrate those successes, being able to celebrate that hard work. It just, on all levels, there's a lot of good stuff happening here. Will members of the public be able to see this once it's done, or is it?
Absolutely. So Lighthouse Recovery is open from 10 to 4 every day at the new drop-in center at 818 State Street. So people, I mean, I want you to just go stop in there anytime. But yeah, you can stop in there and you can see it. And there's other nights where, there's family dinner or movie night or whatever. Like, the community is always welcome to drop in and be part of those things. And we would love for you to come in and see it when it's done. So
Nice. So Lighthouse Recovery now has this new location. Do you still have the other location and you've repurposed it for another use, or did you part with that location?
yeah, so the old center, which is on the corner of Park and 8th Street, is being renovated right now with an amazing state fund grant that we received. And that is going to be housing for women who are pregnant or women with children that want to enter into recovery. So there's a huge barrier for women who have children, because they will not leave their kids to enter into recovery. They will continue to use because they can't take their kids with them. And so this provides this is the bridge to take that barrier away and say, please come. And there is a very limited number of houses in the state of Wisconsin that offer this segment. And so we're super proud to be able to bring it to the community. And again, just our nonprofit network and the services that we have here are incredible. And so we're looking forward to having that house be renovated and open, the construction has to be done by the end of June, and we anticipate opening by August 1st. But partnering with Human Services, partnering with The Crossing, we have other incredible networks and services here in our community. And so, yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you've had multiple construction projects happening.
Yeah. Well, I was only responsible for State Street, but yes, Lighthouse there has been a lot happening there. And I mean, I just need to give a shout out to Jason also, because your hubby, Jason Prigge, is a founding board member of Lighthouse. And it's incredible to think back 6 years when Lighthouse started and where it started and how it started and what it is today and kind of just where it's going is really incredible. And, unless there's visionary people in a room who just get it going, this stuff like this doesn't exist. And so I'm so grateful for those founding board members to have that vision, and Christmas vision has started. And, the West Foundation was a huge partner for us with the State Street Project. And so, for obvious reasons, we love having art be part of what we're doing. But yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Thanks for remembering the founding board members, because sometimes, right, like as history unfolds, sometimes the founders get forgotten. You think about where you are in time, but right, if people didn't have that radical, innovative vision at the time, then the new thing might not even exist.
Absolutely. And Lighthouse started with a part-time person and $10,000 6 years ago, or, it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Hey, I just wanted to mention too, so last week we had talked about the Aurora Borealis and said, if anyone has a photo, put it in the chat. And I'm happy to say that that worked, right? I know previously there were some settings where you couldn't put a photo in the chat, but Amy Jagman shared a photo from Colorado of the Northwoods, which was beautiful. And so I just want to say that does seem to be working, that you can share a photo as part of this chat.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and if anybody has pictures from the weather fronts last night or anything this week, we'd love to see it. If they have pictures of jerky blue jays, we'd love to see it.
Beautiful trees in bloom. What's about to bloom in your yard? Any other thingamajigs, or what was it? I forget. Huppity pups.
Dingsbums.
All right, your mission is to work one of those words into conversation today.
I feel like I need to print them off and practice. Like I need to pick one and then I need to practice it before I'm going to be able to deliver on that challenge.
Yeah, it's true, because once the image goes away, I sort of forget what they are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So if you could just pick one for the week.
Yeah.
Huppity pup.
Diddly doot feels like it rolls most naturally off of my tongue.
So try working it into conversation and see if the person does like a huh? What did you just say?
Do you think they'll get the context of it? Do you think it'll make sense in the context?
I think so. I think it could. And the reactions could be somebody could be like, wait, what? What did you say? Or it could be delivered so deftly that they understand without realizing that it was a word that they don't normally hear. Or the person could be just too embarrassed to admit, like, what did they just say?
They'll have to Google it once they get done with the conversation, be like, what did she say? I do not.
So try working one of these words into a conversation, and then in the chat, let us know how it went. Let us know which word you picked and maybe how you used it and what the response was.
Yeah, we dare you. Come on.
The one in Spanish, chingadera, almost sounds like it would be a swear, like chingadera or something, rather than a thingamajig. So choose wisely, because people may misunderstand what you're saying.
I love that. This morning, so a lot of times when I'm getting ready, I will play videos on YouTube that are inspirational, spiritual, knowledgeable, whatever, just something to like kick my day. And I was listening to this great Brene Brown podcast this morning, and she was talking about how horrible the human race is, and especially Americans, in identifying emotions.
Oh, what?
And that, like, basically people are happy, sad, or pissed off. That's the only three that they like identify with.
Oh no.
And she said the human experience is so great that like we limit ourselves just to like, in general, 3 words, which is crazy. And so this makes me think again about being able to like use different words and challenge ourselves to describing the things we see in a different way. And like, you're so fabulous with vocabulary, I feel like, but so I'm just going to challenge everybody to, definitely use Tina's word list. That's fun. But like, as you go about your business, think about like, what is this? What am I feeling? Or what other words can I use that are not in my normal language?
Yeah. Or what word could say this better? So thinking about the podcast you were listening to, the fact that we use 3 words, right? Happy, sad, pissed off. Is that then what limits our emotional scope because we only associate 3 words with it? Or was our emotional scope limited already, and so we only have those 3?
Well, when we can't identify it, then it's harder to like navigate it and work through it. Like, so if you're really resentful, but you just feel sad, you can only identify sad. And then there's just kind of a stopping point or a stuckness with that, where if you can say, well, I feel resentment, and then you can go on and be like, well, why, what's driving this? Then you can kind of get more, there's more of an evolution. And be able to communicate to somebody like, I feel resentful because X. Well, now it's like a 2-person thing, and you can interact, and somebody, you can, navigate it together. You can navigate it together versus just like, I'm so pissed off at you.
Yeah, because where to go with that? That's just such a amorphous blanket.
Yeah, and it's not productive, right?
Right.
So I'm not all the way through it. I only got to listen to about 20 minutes of it today, but I always love starting my day with something that inspires, thought or emotion or faith or something that just gives me that injection for the day. And today I'm like, ooh, I'm going to challenge myself to think about that more.
I love how you live your best life, Kristin. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for this great conversation today, all the huppity pups that we got to talk about. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching and participating in this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Again, we're your hosts. This is the awesome, amazing Kristin Odell of KLO. I'm Tina Prigge with Vagabond Creative Studio. We'll see you next time, coolest coast.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.